than our local cable subscribers.
Right. It's the Easthampton Affordable and Fair Housing Partnership. It is Thursday, April 30th at 6:05 p.m. And we have someone here for public speak. You can come to the table if you would like. It's totally fine. We're an informal group. You need to introduce yourself for the record.
My name's Liz Coco. I live at 74 Oliver Street. I live across the street from 75, and that's what I'm here to speak about. I would like to see the city bring back housing to 75 Oliver Street, returning these homes to the people where they belong. At the same time, the land must serve in the entire community, honoring its longstanding farming legacy in a meaningful and lasting way. The housing and land must remain together as they were always intended, working in tandem to serve both people and purpose. This should continue as a true community resource, fully occupied, vibrant, and active affordable housing that meets real needs. In doing so, it provides a lasting public benefit, strengthening both stability and the spirit of our community. And finally, any proposal selected must be built to last, grounded in a financial strength, vision, and long-term commitment required to sustain this property for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have something for public speak? I think Donna, you said you did.
Yeah, I do. I'm Donna Chapello. I'm a member of the committee, but I'm speaking as a private citizen, and I live at 116 Pleasant Street. So I just wanted to let people know that if you haven't heard already, Governor Haley has announced an interest-free down payment loan assistance program for first-time buyers in conjunction with Mass Housing. The eligibility requirements include if you make up to 135% of the area median income, and they have identified $129,870 for Hampden County. Looking at Hampshire County, I think it's about $116,640 annually as the outside limit for eligibility. You have to be a first-time buyer, but it applies to either a single family, a condo, or a 2 to 4 family, as long as you're going to be living in the 2 to 4 family. Your credit score has to be within 640 and 700, as a minimum, somewhere between 640 to 700, depending on which mortgage firm you're working with. The deadline for the application through your mortgage company is July 31st. And it's in conjunction with Mass Housing, and people can go to the masshousing.com website to find information about how to apply, as well as to find who they can apply with. Here in our county, I think there are three teams of people. One of them I actually happen to know is Kate Regan. She is with Guild Mortgage, and I'm sorry, but I don't. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. I'm sorry, I don't have the names of the other two, but but you can search through the Mass Housing website and easily locate one of the folks at Mass that are affiliated with Mass Housing that will help guide you through the process of obtaining the down payment loan assistance. It's interest free, and it's up to 25% of your loan to help you with your down payment. And it can be used for the down payment or for your mortgage. A couple of different categories that you can actually use the money for. So that's great.
Great. Thanks, Donna.
Sure.
Helpful information. Anybody else have anything for public speak? All right. We're going to move on. Meeting, we do have a quorum. So that's great. Meeting minutes from March 26th. Jackie sent those out last night. I was able to open them. So does anybody have any questions or comments on them?
I can make a motion to approve first.
I don't think I saw them, Jackie.
Okay, I did send them out last night. We can table it till next meeting if need be.
Let me see.
Ben, did you get them?
Yes, I got
I sent it as a link, Donna, in response to Jana's email, so it's in that thread.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's in the meeting tonight. No.
We can table them until next time so people have a chance to look at it. That's fine.
Yeah, can we do that?
Sure.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not seeing it.
To May
I will retract my motion then.
All right.
Sorry.
Wasn't seconded. That's okay.
Okay. All right. Support letter for renewal initiatives on town lodging house. So they came last meeting to do a presentation. And we wanted to use this meeting time to discuss it and decide about writing a support letter. Does anybody need like a refresher on what they're proposing?
It was in the minutes.
I also have, she sent me something I can, see.
So we're writing a letter that supports which phase at this point? It was in the minutes, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
So I think she wants a letter of support. They want a letter of support to include with their proposal to the RFP, which I don't,
Right.
the RFP has been issued, has not been issued.
Not finished.
Okay.
No, we had our public hearing at the last city council meeting and it turned out to be a lot. I don't know a good way to put it as diplomatically. So I'll just say that it was continued until this following meeting,
Do you know when that's happening?
May 6th.
May 6th.
Next Wednesday.
Okay. So, yeah, so I think they are just trying to be proactive in coming to us and having a letter of support ready to submit with their proposal, which is my understanding. So as a reminder, they are proposing income restricted housing for low and moderate income households at 80% of AMI. Historic rehabilitation of town lodging house, preserving its character, creating a working farm and veteran apprenticeship program on the adjacent land, giving residents and the broader community access to the property. This is not what I wanted to open. Look at what else she said. It's not giving me all the details. They're not building any additional buildings on the property. They are turning the units from single room occupancy to what we commonly call like enhanced SROs, right? They're gonna have bathrooms and kitchens in them.
Well, 4 units would be 2-bedroom, and then the rest of the units would be a mix of 1-bedroom and studio apartments.
Oh, I could look at your notes. Yes, because they anticipate there'll be some veteran families that would be there.
Right.
$7 million in renovations. It's 56 acres. The building is 5,600 square feet. Yes, 15 to 17 tenants. The first floor would be wheelchair accessible. It's a 2-year workforce development and training program for veterans.
And that's all funded by their military benefits.
Right.
So I think they are going to be seeking other grants as well,
Mhm.
though, from the USDA,
Yeah.
because I don't know if you already mentioned it, but the workforce training is specifically related to agriculture,
Right.
which is why the property
Yeah.
is a
And they
fit.
mentioned a couple of other funding sources, and they'll probably ask for some CPA money since
They
it makes
mentioned,
sense.
yeah, CPA, mass development, mass save.
It's perfect for CPA because it's all the things. in
It's
one project.
literally all of the things, yes.
This is like, yeah, perfect CPA lined up.
Yes. Yes, go ahead, Ben.
Thanks. Yeah, I was just gonna say I thought they had a really interesting proposal and it was like a good match, a really kind of good fit for the property because of the agriculture existing there. And I think my initial, I wouldn't say skepticism, but just kind of question was around like, is this? It is like a 2-year program, so like technically, yes, it is like housing people in Easthampton, but it's not like long-term setting down roots kind of in the community type thing.
Right.
But I think all that saying, I think I came away with it, and I think I forget who asked this. There's someone in our committee kind of just like about the like what happens if this model like doesn't work and you guys go belly up and all that, and I think they had a good response in that like, well, we will have fixed up an old, piece of property and made it into good, livable housing for people, and it's still restricted. It has all 3 of the restrictions on the property with,
Right.
and so I think I really hope it succeeds. And I think it will succeed. But I think for that reason, just the very fact that there is somebody to fix up the property and turn it into a productive, useful space is really positive. So I guess all that to say, we can happy to make a motion to approve the letter.
Yeah, and I second that.
Yeah.
I think my biggest concern is can they actually pull it off? But I think we should support them.
Yeah.
Having a shot at it.
I think if I can also add, like, something that I really like about the RFP that we're putting forward is that it incorporates the city right of first refusal. So if they do fail, or if they put in the work and then the programming fails, the city will get a second bite at the apple. So it mitigates some of the risk of losing like valuable public land.
Great. That makes sense.
Do we anticipate there'll be any other response? Like, do we know if have we heard murmurings that anyone else is interested in the parcel? Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, once the public hearing happened, it made it seem like there were people in the community that were interested, and that was part of my rationale for like agreeing to delay for a couple of weeks, was because it was like, I don't think that the conditions of the RFP are going to change at all, but if it gives people enough time to pull together a proposal, then I think that that's fair enough. And so we'll see. It'll be very unlikely that it'll be anything involving the housing part of the parcel. I think it's going to be mainly proposing something to do with the farmland and requesting us to split up the parcel or something like that.
I just want to clarify, the public hearing was continued to May 6th. And the council continued their decision-making until that date as well. However, they're just deciding on whether or not to release the RFP. So people will still have additional time beyond May 6th to prepare their proposals.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that's clear.
Already written. The RFP
Mhm.
drafted?
Yes. The property committee worked on that and recommended it to the full council.
Yeah, it's been public for like a couple months now, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other thing that was interesting to me that I did not realize is that like this idea / like tip to the project came from the neighbors to the Farmer Veteran Coalition, which I thought was kind of interesting because
Yeah.
very rarely does that happen and then something actually comes of it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That the Farmer Veteran Coalition actually sort of like
They
learned about it and then it seemed like an interesting fit. So after, yeah, for me, it's a positive that it seems like a lot of the folks in the neighborhood are supportive of the project because it was not true before. So
Right.
I think that's important that the neighbors
I agree.
are happy about it.
Yeah, and if they can make it work,
Yeah.
sounds like a great like demonstration project for.
Yeah. All right, are we ready to take a vote on me writing the support letter? All right, so the motion is authorizing me to write the support letter on behalf of the partnership and submit it to renewal initiatives.
Second.
Motion by Ben, second by Jackie. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. All
You just walked into the pond.
right. Yeah.
It's true.
All right, great. That will make Heather happy and I will get that over to her. All right, what's else on our agenda? What's next for the zoning recommendations? Yeah.
Good question. So
So
one.
I can speak to this if it's helpful.
Yes, I was hoping did you and Ben have a conversation about this?
Yeah, we chatted yesterday.
Okay.
So I think in general, there is a lot of interest, and I've heard from the mayor's office. I mean, we've heard from the mayor's office, Jenna, like that he's interested particularly in like the R10 and R5 stuff. And so we took a look and skimmed through the recommendations again and just identified, I think, some low-hanging fruit that we could probably move forward with on the ordinance committee. But we definitely, I think the sentiment on that committee is to defer to this group about your priorities. So, I think that the idea is, while we wait for the aquifer information to come back, if we get that grant and whatever, we can move forward with basically everything else that just doesn't touch R40 and R80. And we could even decide to be a little bit more careful beyond that, like taking out R35 or whatever. I think the 18 unit maximum per building is something that we could just move forward. I think potentially the duplexes by right, especially considering that we have ADUs by right at this point. I think that it would be an easy sell. And I think that there's some discussion, and I would defer to this group about whether or not we would want to exclude R40 and R80 from that, just because the ADU doesn't. So, like, I know that the Aquifer Protection Committee is really worried about more people, but in terms of like actually the effectiveness of the policy, like I don't think that it would actually be stopping people from building additional units, but I digress. And then the other thing is just the dimensional regulations focusing on the R5 and R10. So that's reducing the minimum lot size, setbacks, frontage, and area requirements specifically for multifamily.
Do you want to give a quick update for those that aren't
Oh,
aware
yeah.
of what happened last week or right? Was it last week? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I should have started with that. So we had the public hearing with the joint public hearing with Ordinance Committee and the Planning Board for those first 4 sections. So the language updates, the definition of family, the parking minimums, and the community character. And it was very successful. There was a lot of really good feedback from the Planning Board. They were extremely grateful for like the language clarifications. Jan, I already told you this, but they were like, they made a point to like thank us for clarifying all the references to character. And I think that they were very much on board with the gist of what we were trying to push for, just infill development, or like, I mean, one of the planning board's members literally said like, this is urbanism and I support urbanism and this is what we need. So I will say that like they were definitely supportive of that. And it made me definitely really excited for some of the other stuff that we have on the docket. But we moved all 4 of those recommendations from Planning Board and Ordinance Committee back to full council with recommendation. And the public hearing for that is on May 6th as well.
Okay.
Day.
Mhm. Long day.
It's
Okay.
going to be another 3-hour city council meeting or 4-hour city council meeting.
Yeah, the mayor's budget presentation is also that night.
Oh,
Oh, great.
do you anticipate, I mean, like, should we be there? Do you anticipate council's gonna have like their, like,
It is a public hearing,
so yeah. Okay.
right? It's a
Yeah,
public-
I mean, and ideally, like Jenna, if you want to speak to the community character stuff, like that would be the
Okay.
place for that.
Yeah.
And
All right. That's great. Yeah, that's great news. Thank you for shepherding that through, and that's great news. It's great that it went through easily, so that's great. Yeah, back to the other things. So, what do folks, I mean, I agree with you, Kayam, that I think some of these things we should just keep going while we wait for the aquifer stuff that impacts mostly R40 and R80. What do folks think about going back to the 18 unit cap, duplexes by right, and the dimensional regulations for R5 and R10? I will say that I think if we want duplexes by right to have a smoother sale, I would exempt R40 and R80 until we have the aquifer stuff back, because I do think they were, even though we tried to make the pitch that duplexes by right was not going to add square footage, or I didn't think that was flying very much with the aquifer committee.
No, I'm sure.
So
I think that's
I think we'll hear the same concerns, and it might not just be worth it if we just want to wait and package all the stuff for R40 and R80. And I don't know, I'm bad at the R's, but like R35 doesn't have a aquifer impact. Is it really just R40 and R80?
Yes, but R35 is like the northwestern portion of the city, which is a less densely developed area.
Okay.
So I would
not aquifer.
not that I'm aware of. It's not in the aquifer protection.
Okay.
Overlay.
Okay.
but there are a lot of wetlands out there, and we are also putting forward a wetland protection ordinance. So it's a nice like dovetail with some of the other stuff.
Okay.
Right, so if you have a parcel that has wetlands on it, you wouldn't be able to build that duplex anyway. Like you'd have to be able to meet both of those, like the standards have to be met there.
What we're proposing doesn't
Doesn't
override any of the other things that,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I just think politically it helps us that it's happening like at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you
Well, do we know if there are wetlands in the R35?
yeah, that's what Kayam just said.
Yeah, they're
Because
everywhere.
there are, right?
Yeah.
So but it doesn't
Mhm.
impact us still putting this forward because
It's
You
not
know.
in the aquifer protection area.
right.
Mhm. Got it.
Do we think that there's going to be support around the removing the cap of 18 units per building? I guess it's a Kayam question.
I mean, when we brought that up at the rent study committee with that crew, David Boyle and Kevin Perrier seemed to be supportive of that idea. Two developers, I'm trying to think.
Well, and their point was the lot itself is going to determine how much you can build on it, and that will determine how many units you can have per building.
Well, that was the weird 8 or 9 buildings per parcel, but Allison said she couldn't find anything that just, so.
Yeah, I think they may have just been thinking of another town
Yeah.
or something that was included in the past, maybe.
But certainly, yes, if you could do more than 18 units, you could have more green space, you could, so
You could spread the cost of an elevator across way more units.
it helps low income housing tax credit properties who, if you wanted to only do one building, 18 units is not
Not
enough.
gonna get it, right, okay.
Um,
So we have good reasons to support it from our perspective. I'm just curious. Are you at all worried about the political ramifications of that piece of the recommendation?
No, I mean, I think we're, like I said, I think politically, when we're addressing sort of the wetlands concerns right now, like the case that I was making at that ordinance committee meeting when we were talking about the wetlands ordinance was like, we have so many things in our ordinance that restrict development that are literally just about protecting people's feelings about the way that the land looks and like how a project is developed. Whereas like
Right.
this is an actual ordinance that has logic around protecting a natural resource and a habitat for like important species and flood resilience and all that kind of stuff. So like, let's reduce those other barriers to development while we're doing this. So it's not like it's not creating an environment where it's impossible to develop. We're just making the case for smarter development and having that reflected in our zoning.
Right.
And I don't think that's something that would be very controversial. I definitely like expect some questions on ordinance committee, particularly from like Tamara, because I think that she was involved with putting that cap in the first place. Because I think that there was a worry about, I don't know, like something in the earlier 2000s about like big buildings going in and warehouses or something like that. So I definitely expect like questions, but I think that we have a good case.
Okay.
And the
And
18 stores, we like what David said is sort of 18 units just seemed like a good number. There was no like
Reasoning.
math or
Yeah.
logic behind the 18 units. It was just like, well, that seems reasonable. So let's pick 18. And I think times have changed in terms of like what we know now about the cost of buildings and elevators and all of those things. Yeah. Okay. So if we wanted to do that, we have to go back to ordinance, right? I know kind of.
I was just gonna add a quick comment too, just around the like Kyle and I met was that yesterday, 2 days ago, recently, and we're definitely in alignment on like moving forward on the things we
And your
discussed.
audio's really garbled.
Oh, can you hear me better now?
Or maybe,
Yes.
yes, you're just not close enough to the phone. That's better.
Okay. Yeah, just like we're in alignment with what he recommended moving forward with, and I also just wanted to comment on the R40, R80 like duplex like idea, and I think currently those are not allowed at all like in those districts, whereas the R35 it would be like changing it from special permit to permitted by right. So it would be easier to digest maybe to switch it from like special permit to by right, whereas R40 and R80 would be like allowing it, something that's not allowed at all right now. So yeah, and I think eventually maybe we can get there, and I mean there's something to be said about trying to go for it now, but I think maybe wait for the aquifer study to go forward first and then figure out what makes sense. And then just on the logic of like currently every conversion from single family to duplex is special permit for every district, which like the logic doesn't really make sense to me that duplexes are allowed by right when you need a special permit to convert to a duplex. So I think, we have strong logic to recommend that for at least the R5, 10, 15, and 35. And then maybe similarly wait for the aquifer study for the R40 and R80.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Ben, are you saying that maybe I want to make sure I understood what you said. That like why would there be objection to turning a single family into a duplex as opposed to adding a duplex? taking one building and adding a second unit onto the building that already exists rather than, why would that be more acceptable than?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Right.
currently you can build a duplex completely from scratch by right in a lot of districts, but you would need a special permit to convert a single family home to a duplex.
Well, that
which
doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I think it doesn't make sense either.
Hence the recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get what you're saying. But also the other thing that I was thinking about was if you can do a duplex as a right and you can add an ADU. I know we're waiting for the aquifer information, but if there's already a building and what you're doing is adding onto a building, how much impact will that have? I guess
So
that's what the report will tell us, right?
The ADU would be you could do on top of a duplex. So I just want to clarify that. So an ADU you can do on any residential property that would otherwise have a single family by right. So even if it's a 3-family, you could have an ADU. So I think for R40 and R80, the concern would be that people are going to add the ADU and then add another one on top of it.
Yeah.
Allison, do you know if that would trigger like a sprinkler requirement because of having three?
Only if they're attached. So yes, 3 or more units, you do need to have a residential sprinkler system, which I'm told is far less expensive than a commercial because you can do like plastic piping, but nonetheless, an ADU can be detached. Like you cannot require it to be attached. So in theory, you would have the duplex plus a detached ADU, probably.
Okay. Well, I was also just thinking, like, if we want to, put a little pressure on infill and R40 and R80, we could just focus our advocacy on the ADU bylaw updates that still need to happen and making sure that that's permissive, because that's something that can't be restricted in that area. So we could just cut out R40 and R80 from the duplex by right and just say, like, okay, when ordinance committee is revisiting the ADU bylaw, which needs to happen soon, we can just focus our advocacy on making sure that that's good, I guess.
And that would be for anyone, because right now statewide it's for anyone. So would it still be restricted here in Easthampton? Because we still have the aquifer areas. But even if you're in one of those areas, you still have the right to build the ADU.
Yeah, and I mean, Allison would have the most accurate answer to this. But from what I know about the Affordable Homes Act, it was like you can't restrict like ADUs by right in all residential districts or in all districts, kind of thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, there's certain things that do still apply, like a floodplain and an aquifer. However, we don't restrict ADUs in the aquifer overlay right now. Like we don't explicitly restrict them, so they still are allowed.
It would just be restricted by the impervious surface coverage, right?
Yeah.
That was my question.
Any kind of area height bulk requirements they call them typically still apply to an ADU.
Yeah.
There are exceptions for existing structures, and we also have a special permit process to get like a waiver from things. But yes, generally speaking, all of that would still apply.
In my mind, I'm thinking like in terms of advocacy for the ADU bylaw, it would be like making sure that the square footage is reasonable and that like we're not adding any additional restrictions or too many restrictions for detached versus attached and that kind of thing. But I just wanted to put that out there.
Any other comments about moving this back to ordinance?
And in terms of process, I think that I don't think that we need to present it back to ordinance committee. I think it's just a matter of potentially having a couple people from the housing partnership just coming to one of the meetings where we talk about it and sort of giving the okay from that group from your group to us to keep moving.
And then that's when it would go to planning.
Yeah, because you moved the whole report to the ordinance committee, I'm pretty sure. So
Okay. Should I talk to Connie or to you about getting on the agenda, whenever that?
to me.
Okay.
So we can touch base.
So we don't have to do anything formal like we did with the prior recommendations where you guys put together the report and said the things we're recommending. We can just come back to the ordinance committee process wise and say, oh, here's something else we want you to look
They're
at.
all part of that report, so it's not new. This is,
Yeah,
so they only moved the first 4 sections of the report to the planning board, so this is the remaining sections.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. All right, Chaim, I will connect with you about some future meeting that we can get on the agenda. And
I'll say now that we're meeting the second and fourth Tuesdays in May and June, so we might be able to get on one of those. But we can pick the one that works best for you, honestly.
Okay. And then May 6th is the public hearing at council. So if folks are around and can go, that would be great. Okay. Committee vacancies. We have 2. And I had a brilliant idea of someone, and I cannot remember who the heck it was I was thinking of. I was like, oh yeah, they live in Easthampton. That would be great. And I'm like, who is it?
Was it someone, because I keep thinking it'd be nice to have someone from the banking world.
It would be nice. Maybe it was someone from the banking world.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's driving me crazy.
It'll come back to you at 3 a.m. and you can text me.
Yeah. So it would be
And
nice
then
to
we'll
have.
have evidence.
It would be nice to have somebody from banking.
And then I always think it'd be great to have a tenant.
Yes. It would be great to have a tenant. I can certainly reach out. I mean, we had Eileen for a hot second.
We could ask Lindsay Sakula if there's anybody in the housing authority properties that she would recommend.
That's a great idea. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
Does anybody have I swear to God, I had an idea. It's just driving me crazy.
Once you stop thinking about it, it will come to you.
I do think it would be nice to have someone from banking because we are heavy on the planning, which is excellent. And we have legal with Donna. We have realtor with Lindsay.
And landlord with Shira.
Mhm. We have housing nerds with Jackie and I. We have data nerd with Yoshi.
You might have to step down, but we'll see.
Yes, I actually thought that was the case, and then it didn't happen. So then I was like, oh, maybe she changed her name. So I think banking would be great. Is there any other categories people think of that are thinking of that might be good to add?
I mean, like maybe someone like Kevin. I don't know. He has a lot of like pro supply ideas.
Perrier,
Yeah,
like
from the rent study committee.
builder, yeah.
Yeah, we've often said that.
Right. Well, if you reach out to Lindsay, I'm gonna try to remember who the brilliant idea was that I had. And if not, try to think of someone in banking.
It would be great to have a builder, I think, because the builders have a perspective that might be helpful.
We could ask Kevin, yeah.
We could also ask David Boyle, not if he wants to do it, but if he knows. If he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
If he knows someone who might. His sister was on for
A long time.
Yeah. But then moved out of town.
Andy Tilby, who was on the committee, also still is at Easthampton Savings Bank, so we can also ask him if he had any,
If he has time to come back.
or any suggestions of somebody that might be interested. Okay.
You could
You could try
also,
to coerce Brad into coming back.
Oh, yeah.
kind of a data nerd.
Yep. Yep.
The other thing I'm thinking of is Betty, I'm blanking out. Why am I blanking out Betty's last name?
Burnham?
Yes, thank you. Betty Burnham was on this committee for a really long time when she was the director of the Housing Authority. So if,
Oh, that's true.
so we could ask Lindsay if she would like to serve as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that was great when we had Betty. Okay. I think those are all good ideas for us to mull over. We can report back next month. Our next meeting is May 28th, and I just feel like I have a conflict, but maybe
I think I'm gonna be out of town that day.
Oh, I don't.
It's worth.
Do not have a conflict. Not what I thought I had, but it's not a conflict. You might be out of town.
Yeah, well, I am out of town.
Okay. You were out of town. Is everybody else, well, Donna and Ben, are you both around on May 28th as far as you know? You are muted, Donna.
Sorry, I probably won't be.
Okay.
I may be, but I also may not be.
Yeah, I think I actually do have a conflict that night too. I have family visiting from out of town to see the baby.
All right. So
Maybe we move that meeting.
you're going to have to move that meeting. Thursday before is May 21st.
Yeah, that looks good for me.
Also my anniversary.
Oh, you don't want to do it on
Bring
your
Brian,
anniversary.
you know.
I'll have an anniversary
We'll bring
party.
some big
Um,
champagne.
Yeah. May 21st works. Ben?
Yes.
Okay. I will contact Marianne to see if we can get a room on May 21st.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Any
And-
other
Yeah,
things?
while we were talking, Jenna, I was looking for that email with the agenda. I can't find it. So I'm sorry, but could you resend me the agenda?
The agenda or
The
you want
minutes, you mean?
I'm sorry, the minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to it.
Well, that happens.
I'll check and make sure you were there, but.
Yes, Kayam?
One thing that I'll just mention and put on everyone's radar again, I think I already sent this around, but the Chapa Housing Leadership Academy, the next cohort is accepting applications still. And I'm still in the midst of it and I can very highly recommend it. It's been a really great, both networking and also learning experience. I think that Easthampton is definitely ahead of the curve compared to a lot of the communities that are participating, but I think that there's an element of like sharing our success and also making connections and stuff like that. So
Great.
And it's free. So
Excellent. All right. If we don't have anything else, I'm happy to take a motion to adjourn at 6:48 p.m.
I shall make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, no, this was great.
Second.
Got closed.
Second. All right. Thanks, everybody.
And our local cable subscribers.